This is Mastering Mathematics with your teacher, Karen Weston.
Good evening, Antigua Barbuda. Welcome again to another in the series, Mastering Mathematics. It's a program produced by the Ministry of Education in conjunction with EBU Unit and Mathematics Center for Education and ABS Television. This time, you hear how quickly I'm speaking? Because guess what? 2 months before the CXC exams. And I know that those students, yes, it's now crunch time for them. And we're going to be dealing with some of those revisions as quickly as we can. This week, I'll be focusing a lot on the CXC students because I need to get into some quick revision and then to get them onto our question number 2 for the algebra. Last week, we started with our basic algebra, and suddenly, yes, people realize that they can do it. All right? So, I'm not going to be talking too much, but oh yes, to remind you, fifth formers, you don't have to wait on me. All the topics are here and they are ready on your iPod, all right? Everybody has one of these tablets. If not everybody, parents who didn't allow their children to get them, I'm so sorry you didn't, because it's a walking encyclopedia. And they can, at any time, any place, take up these things and they can get what they want. It is no longer teacher-directed, just a facilitator, and students can take over. And I am still on these, talking and discussing every last topic along with Mrs. Thompson, the geometry, what you have to know for your CXC. So we're going to let our primary school students rest a little this week, but if they want to learn what I'm teaching right now for the basic algebra, parents, let them stay because they can do it. Do not say that they're too small. What happens when you go to an institute for learning is that you hear some of the professors says, what you're doing now in first year is what I did in final year. That is how knowledge is passed on, because we cannot stay at one stage for development, okay? So, without any further ado, we're getting right back into that algebra because I have to make certain that you have not forgotten and that you remember what it is that is involved in terms of the little algebra that you're going to get in your CXC. And also, I have to make certain first formers, second formers, and third formers are at ease, okay? So, last time we took you through the very basic things in algebra to let you know that these letters are now replacing numbers, and we add, we subtract, we divide, and we do the same thing in terms of the BODMAS rule, and then we get into powers. And oh, I haven't told you about the powers as yet, but where we are going today is to take you right on to powers. We did substitution, so we know how to find those things. We're going to be doing our multiplication. We did the rules, signs, that when the signs are the same, then they are positive if we are multiplying, okay? And addition stays. When the signs are different and we are multiplying, then it becomes a negative, all right? Anytime the signs are different and it's multiplication, it becomes a negative. However, when we are collecting like terms, we add and keep the sign for the greatest number. Okay. Now, let us put you on to, I directly refuse to do powers because I didn't want you to say we didn't understand that part of it, but I am not going to shield you any further from that. So we're just going to look a bit at the indices once again to say that we're talking about powers. And again, I'm using Gray and Lane's CXC, Basic Mathematics, for the algebra part of it to show you how basic, not just how basic, that the foundations are the same. All right, so I hope to cover today clearance of brackets and multiplication. Clearance of brackets and multiplication. So I'm not going to put you into powers because I'm going to wait until I'm doing the indices. So let's get back here. If I gave you Okay, because we're getting right onto factorization because most of that is for our question number 2. So I'm not just going to throw you in to do the exam questions. I'm still going to give you rudiments, all right? And students, it's time for you, if it's a basic calculator you're using, make certain you still know all the keys. If it's the scientific calculators you're using, make certain that you're familiar with everything on that calculator. How you're going to get the sine, how you're going to get sine inverse, how you're going to get what keys you have to use. If it's your second shift, which one you're pressing first. Make certain, because what you put in the calculator is what you're going to get out. I am convinced, okay, the knowledge for mathematics would be there, but the computation you've got to be so very careful with. And precision is important, okay? And especially for the multiple choice. And just now I'm going to be practicing a lot of multiple choice too, because I believe we're losing a lot of our students on that paper. And I have to show you some of the things that come in it. And you're going to say, Miss Weston, oh Lord, Jack, so long you give us a multiple choice and you haven't even given us the answers yet. I have not forgotten, but I know I need to go straight into the algebra. All right? Our first problem today. And guess what? Yes, today we have student audience. Aisha is here. And guess who's also here? Oh, the silent singing nightingale. Maggie is also in the background, okay? And Jetta is on the camera. You know why? Maggie came in. She's still in the cellar. And Aisha is now in grade 1. And she does not want that. Okay, so she's here, and that's what you have to do. Don't make your friends come higher than you in class, okay? And grannies and uncles, don't make your neighbors know more maths than you. So listen, tell them that you're always there when they say, what, school calling? Okay, here we are. Now today, so again, I remind you, because it's usually the rules that we're going to be paying attention to. First thing, a negative multiplied by a negative is equal to a positive. Positive times positive is equal to positive. When the signs are different, so it's not the largeness of the numbers, it's the signs. When the signs are different, negative times positive, negative. And positive times negative, your answer is going to be negative. Let us start from the very small one, and we set your heart at ease and we give you a positive first. So if you have 2y and it is plus 3p, not plus, sorry, we're doing our times 3p, we want to ask you, what is the answer? I love Maggie, you know, because she's not shy, so she will always be coming all the time and answering up fast, because today's a lot of answering up in here, okay? Because we're doing some problems right now, and Aisha alone can't take care of this, because you know what? I don't promise her the ice creams without giving her, you know, because I am waiting in the back room for some of my share too, all right? So when you promise her, make certain you say where to meet you to get that ice cream, all right? Because I'm coming with her to see if you're doing anything that's not right. Here we are. 2y times 3p, and we're asking what is the answer when we get something like that. Now first of all, so I'm going to take you through the first one. We have I would have been saying you look for your signs first. Today we don't have a big problem because the signs are all positive, so we know it will be positive. After that, these letters, the mathematic name for these when we're doing problems, they're called the variables, okay? Variables because they can assume different values if we want them to. And the numbers in front of them is called the coefficient, all right? And that is in contrast to if you had y with a little 2 at the top, that is called an index. And when we have more than one of them, 2 or more, they're called indices, okay? So know the terms. Don't go into the examination room and say, oh, I didn't know that's what they meant, okay? We have to know those terms. So the first thing then, you'd always look at your numbers, and it would be 2 times 3, and what is our answer? 2 3s? Okay, oh my, talk loud now, man. And what is y times p? it will just be YP. Okay, so this is like when people call people their initials and you're saying YB and so forth. All right, so that is what we're doing. Now, because I know I've said so much, just before I send you on any sort of break, so you choke up yourself and you sit properly, let us give you another example, and then we're coming back to give you some questions. If you had negative, and it is 4A, negative 4A, and I'm putting it in a bracket to let you know they're all one term, and it is times 5B, what would be our answer? Negative 4A, and it is times 5B. Again, principle, we're taking care of our signs, and then we look at our coefficients and we look at our letters. Maggie, would you want to tell us what the answer for that is?
Negative 20 AB.
Here, boy, she coming out of the cellar today. Negative 20 AB. Out of the cellar today, Maggie coming. You think she easy? Oh, she was doing the homework all the time. One go. That is the answer. All right? Negative. You're saying my people in the studio, they're smart and fast? Yes. So it's a negative times a positive. She has the negative. 4 times 5, 20. A times B, AB. Oh, what a good lady. Right, send you on your break. Make certain you sharpen up yourself, because I'm coming back. And remember, Jetta says if you can say those, what you call it again, the prime numbers faster than him. Remember, we have a prize for you now, because nobody can beat Jetta in this country. All right, so go on your break and we'll be right back.
Be sure that you're working in the same units of measure when performing calculations. If a problem involves inches, feet, and yards, be sure to make the appropriate conversions so all of your values are in the same unit of measure. For example, change all values to feet.
All right, so we went for a break, and I know everybody's now sharpened up because you want to beat Maggie, but you can't, you know, so you better come good. Here we are, our next sum. And again, we remind you, come in the little corner, negative times negative, right. Positive times positive, right. Differences of thing, negatives, all right? Good, and that is what you're taking with you. Now, we have this expression, and we're multiplying. It's negative 2x times negative 3y times 3z. All right. Aisha and Maggie, would you like to take it away from me?
Yes, I'll take it away.
Right.
Negative 2 times negative 3 will give you a positive 6.
That's right.
Negative and negative is equal to a positive.
Excellent.
So 6 times 3
Yes.
is equal to 18.
Right. So you see what she did? She dealt with the signs, all right? And then she dealt with the coefficient. Okay? So you're not in trouble. 2 times 3 times 3. And now we're down to positive 18. Yes. And we have X, Y, and Z.
So it will be positive 18, X, Y, Z.
And it will just be positive 18, X, Y, Z. And that is the answer. Well done. All right? So again, note what was done. Signs, negative, negative, positive. And a positive, so we end up with our positive 18. And X times Y times Z is just X, Y, Z. Parents, what are we saying? When you see X, Y, Z like that, you know it means multiply by, and you don't put in the sign. All right. Good. I wonder if Aisha wants to take on this one. I'm bringing down this, and it looks as if I'm making them bigger and wider, and they're not complaining because they're smart students. So I have negative 3, and it's times negative 5y, and I'm putting them in a bracket so they know it's one term, and it's times 2z, okay, and it is times negative 4d, okay. Right. And you know, of course, we have our backup here because Jetta is on that camera and he knows everything. He's my young mathematician in here too. Yes. Aisha, what are we saying? Okay, Maggie, you want to take it from her? She's coughing today, so we excuse her a bit. Okay. No wonder you see Maggie coming up straight. So we have a negative times a negative.
Is a positive.
And times a positive would give us? Positive times positive would give us?
Positive.
And positive times negative would give us?
Negative.
Negative, very good. 3 times 5 would give me?
15.
And 15 times 2 would give me?
30.
Okay, and we put it down here for see, so people can see. 30 times 4 would give me?
120.
120. So little ones, we're saying 4 knots and not 4 threes are 12. And that's how you get your negative 120, 120. Notice what we are doing. And now we're dealing with the letters that we say are called variables. It's y times z would give me?
YZ.
Yes, and yz times d would give me?
YZD.
YZD. Oh, my people are beautiful. Up to the time the cough killing Aisha, she now hushing, all right? So I have plenty water in here for her. So that is it, okay? That is it. Let the children have fun in the mathematics classroom. And as Dr. George would say, let them dance, okay? Let them dance. And that is true. Now, there is something where we have where we're going to be calling it clearing the brackets. So it says, remove the brackets and simplify. I just want to tell my second form teachers, the A plus B, before you attempt something like this, you'd let the children know what are the rules involved, okay? Because this takes in the distributive law, and later, when I give you 2 brackets, it will be taking in distributive law, the signs, the multiplication, and everything in terms of BODMAS too, okay? So you can't just say, oh, it's just that, so you think that they won't know, that they would know. We have got to be careful, all right? Now then, the first one that we're starting simply again, and again we say we're invoking the distributive law, because this would be as if we're saying we have Clorox outside our bath and we're going to wash, and all the clothes inside, if we throw the Clorox in the bath, it has to go through every last one of them. So it says whatever the scalar and the number, again we have names again, the scalar, the number outside of a bracket is called the scalar. The number in front, just the letters, it is then called the coefficient, okay? So this is what they're calling the scalar, and we're going to be using it. So if they ask you to remove the bracket from a sum like that, what would be our answer? Because I'm saying to you, what is outside the bracket must be multiplied by everything inside the bracket. If we have a negative sign outside our bracket, we have to also observe that, okay? Are we ready, my studio audience? Are we ready? Maggie, you're taking on the full weight today, because yes, you're saying you haven't been here for a long time and you want to come out of that cellar, okay? Here we go. What would we do to clear this bracket?
We'll multiply.
Yes, we're multiplying. So a number outside of a bracket means that the operation is multiplication. Very good. So how am I going to do that?
3a.
So we'll be saying 3 times a would give me 3a.
Plus 3b.
And it is plus 3b. See, that is what I meant when I said the 3 can act as if it is your Clorox or your bleach outside of your bath. You're going to wash, you have clothes inside the bath. If you throw some inside, it goes into every last one of them. So anything inside of a bracket must be multiplied by the scalar outside, okay? And the scalar just means the number outside of the bracket. We have to get accustomed to the vocabularies that is used with the terms. And you get in the examination room, you're going to say, I never hear those words. Yes, you're going to hear them because we're going to tell you about them. Okay, now let's give you, so we're going to make it now a little more, okay? What would you do if you had to remove this bracket? And it is 5, so that is number 1. Number 2, this time it's 5 outside of your bracket, and it is 4p, and it is minus, and it is 3k, okay? So I have 5, open bracket, 4p, minus 3k. What am I going to say this time? Maggie, you're in the headline today. Go ahead, tell me, what am I doing? So the term outside, the number outside I have is 5, and our first term is 4p. So what am I going to say?
5 times 4p minus 5 times.
Okay, let's write it out. 5 times 4p, and it's minus 5 times 3k. Okay, everybody got that? Children at home, parents, aunties and uncles, yes. Again, the rule holds. Whatever is outside the bracket is multiplied by the term. This time we had two letters. We had a number and a letter inside to make up the one term, okay? So here we have the term, the first term was 4p, and the second term is 3k, negative 3k. And then we had to multiply the 5 by each of those terms. So do the multiplication for me, please. What is it? So what's my final answer? 4 times 5 would give me
20.
So that's 20, and it's 20p. And it's my, oh, not me saying. So I have a negative in front. Negative 5 times 3, what's the answer? A negative times a positive, what's the answer?
A negative times positive is a negative.
Is a negative. And 5 times 3 would give me?
15.
And then it's 15 times k would give me?
15k.
15k. Oh, they were very shaky on that, isn't it? Yes, so we have to give them another one. Okay, right. No, and that is what happens with our students and teachers. You have got to slow down at that point. Not because you had a little one term up here and they raced it off. Notice what happens when we give them 2 things for the one term, okay? They take a time, and the sign is also part of it. They take a little time to feel comfortable with what they're doing. They still understand that it is whatever is outside the bracket has to be multiplied by what's inside, but they need to make certain, and you must not move on until you have seen that your students are on firm footing. Remember, to our second formers and our first formers, they're new to this stuff and they're dying to get it, so don't rush them. See to it they understand. And again, as soon as you see a child in the classroom that knows it, turn them into teachers. They love it. Okay? Turn them into teachers. And you will see how easy it makes life for you. Let's put another one here. And don't change it to another sign. They're not ready for the negative sign in front of the bracket as yet. Okay? So we give them another positive one. And these are the things you'd be doing in the classroom to see. So we have, this time it is now 5. So remove these so that we're not confused. Okay? So our third one here. And again, on show. Maggie has to answer these things. And I hope the cameraman is taking care of her, you know. It's now 5, and it's open bracket, and it is 2x minus 3y. It is 5, open bracket, 2x minus 3y. What am I going to say this time?
5 times 2.
So it is 5 times my 2x, yes? Minus
5 times 3.
And it is 5 times 3y. All right. So what is my third line going to say now? 5 times 2x would give me?
10x.
So it's 10x. Go ahead.
Minus.
Very good. 5 times.
5 times 3 is 15.
Right, so it's 15y. Now, I'm sure you noticed the difference. She's getting good at it, okay? And then we would be saying, yes, you give them something, you say 1 for the broader. All right? You would give them 1 for the broader. Don't change the signs because they don't know it as yet. And guess what? Our time is running out already, you know. But I am sending you packing with this one because you're going to give me the answer first thing you see me tomorrow. So it is 5, open bracket, and it is 4p, and it is minus 2r. Okay? So it is 5, open bracket, 4p, and it is minus 2r. Do you think you can give that to me and don't even sleep on that overnight? Yes, she says. So I'm not going to keep her. Right, so what am I going to say?
5 times 4p.
So it's 5 times 4p.
Minus.
And it's minus.
5 times 2r.
5 times 2r. That's right. And it's equal now to 5 times 4 would give me?
20p.
20p. Minus.
10r.
And it is 10r. Oh my gosh. That's all it takes, okay? All it takes. Aisha is sitting here beaming because Maggie's just taking over so she doesn't have to jump into the neck. And look, I want to tell all the outside here, when you see Maggie, you know, my nightingale, make certain you give her cotton candy she wants. You understand? Cotton candy. All right? Keep the ice cream for Aika. And my belly's waiting too, okay? Cotton candy. Because what did she come away with? Excellent. Excellent, okay? And watch the smile. Teacher broad smile, all right? And put in the nose too. Excellent, all right? Good. So we see that mathematics can be learned. It can be fun. Take your times, teacher. Don't hasten the pace. Go slowly with the children because once they get it, that's it. We have enjoyed bringing this program to you, and we will be back tomorrow. But this time, I'm going to step up the pace because I have some performers waiting for Miss Weston to touch the number 2s on these past papers. So tomorrow, I'm going straight into an examination mode, and I'm going to be working the past papers for the performers to see exactly what we would do with our question number 2. And then next week we will be coming back because we're going to take you slowly up the ladder to show you too that you will be able to meet up the performers in terms of what they're doing for factorization. Can you believe it? 2 more months, all right? So we are going to work hard and they're going to get there. And again, we understand that everything is on your tablet so that you can just go and you can see it, Mastering Mathematics, and they tell me right away, if you just punch in YouTube, you see you have everything, you get into it, and it is right there. Again, we still have to thank Mr. Washington Bramble for his ingenuity in terms of getting these things onto the website and everything coming up with it. All right? And of course, Jetta is here. Oh, he loves it. Okay? And thank the whole EBU unit because Mr. Lloyd is always ready and flushing and coming and checking and seeing that everything is in place. And if we're seeing resolution, if it's bright enough or anything like that. Okay, so we're all here working as a team because our main aim is to make certain that the whole of Antigua is sensitized and knows mathematics. And you know what? They're learning. So see you tomorrow and we'll be back because we're sending in our fifth formers into that examination room to just yam up the questions. See you again.
Join us next time for another in the series, Mastering Mathematics, a production of the Education Broadcasting Unit in the Ministry of Education and ABS TV.